Let me guess, it's been another month of barely leaving the house and looking at your phone every morning to see you've got 0 messages. Well, at least Team Snapchat sent you a message. I hated when my life was like this, and when I escaped, I quickly realised that I was an idiot. There were 3 reasons that kept me friendless, and I'll be honest, it was a very dark realisation because it had nothing to do with how I looked or what I said. If you're going through this, then this video will reveal 3 things you do and that I did that keep you alone. And I'm going to give you a solution to come back to the real world. This was me 2 years ago. I spent most of my time scrolling, watching and playing games. Back then there was a friend group of about 5 people that I was in. We started talking a lot in school, but then without me they would make plans about fun things they would do after school. You can imagine how shitty I felt the next day when they would tell me about what they had done together. But this was only the beginning. And when parties and stuff like that came into the picture, a couple months later it happens again. I remember this day very specifically. It was a Saturday night. I was very tired and about to go to bed. But before I went to bed, I decided to open Instagram and just check my phone. And I suddenly see that my friends have all posted stories. And guess what? When I open that story, it's a video of them all laughing, being at the party, running around, just having fun together. And I'm sitting there at home on a Saturday night. I remember going to bed that day, just feeling empty. I couldn't fall asleep because all sorts of thoughts were just racing around my head. Couldn't understand it and I felt like shit. Now 2 years later, I don't have the same problems anymore, which I'm obviously grateful for. But that's not what the video is about. It's about telling my younger self what he needed to hear and why people ignored him. The reason number 1. Your life is not interesting. So as I told you, 2 years ago my life consisted of waking up, scrolling, going to school, coming home, scrolling, watching and gaming, and then a bit more scrolling before I went to bed. It was boring, not only to me, but to everyone around me. Now by having an interesting life, I don't mean you like go bungee jumping or whatever every day. I simply mean that you actually use your time on something instead of wasting every hour. Because I'll be honest, I understand why no one reached out to me. It was because the way I treated myself, it wasn't even worth it. If you can have a purpose, a goal that you're driven by every day when you wake up, people will like you more and you'll bring more value, for you're not dependent on the friendship, which brings me to the second reason why you have no friends. Reason number 2, you're needy. Now most people use this term when they're talking about relationships with girls, but I've found that the same happens with your friends. So 2 years ago when my life consisted of doing nothing, the only interesting thing in my life was obviously being with my friends. And so I was quick to ask all the time, oh, when's the next hangout? Oh, when's the next time we're doing something? And if we weren't together, then I'd be texting them. And now I realise how horrible a mistake this was. People don't want to be your number 1. Even though you might think it, they would rather be friends with someone that has something going on in their life. It's just the same as with girls. When you're needy, you also feel desperate. People can feel that they are the only thing in your life and they don't like it. Think about this. If you had to introduce your friend to someone new and tell them about your friend and all he did was just waste his days away, would you be proud and really wanting to tell that to someone? Probably not. Even though it feels superficial to say that people are friends with you for your value, that's it. If they are the only ones in the friendship providing life and value and you aren't, then the friendship won't last too long. Reason number 3, you haven't found the right people. So if you fix the last 2 things and you still have no friends, which is very unlikely, it might be because you haven't found the right people. Maybe the people you found until now have different interests and live a different life. What I've experienced is that you can only keep going, talking to new people and meeting new people. For me at least, it didn't take too long until I found new people with the same interests as me. And if you really can't find any friends, I'll leave a link to my Discord Brotherhood in the description. You can join in there and chat to me and others on the same path as you. So let's summarize. Keep these 3 reasons in mind. Number 1, your life is not interesting. Find a purpose in life and something to do. People like it when they know you actually have a life. Number 2, you're needy. Make sure your friends aren't everything. Have a life and prioritize yourself. People can sense when you waste your days and cling to them for enjoyment. Number 3, you haven't found the right people. Just keep going and meeting new people and you'll find them. And if you can't find any, then join my Discord Brotherhood. If you can fix these problems, I guarantee you that you'll start attracting more friends. Alright, that's it. Put one foot in front of the other.